My name is Glenn Johnson. I'm the sports director at KTJJ and KREI Radio. And today we are welcoming and honoring 30 athletes from our winter sports season, 10 from wrestling, 10 from girls basketball, and 10 from boys basketball. And we'll get into what it means to be a Dream Teamer here in just a sec. But first, I'd like to welcome our staff. To my right is Tommy Self. He's the sports director at KJFF. Jefferson County coaches and players deal with him. Please give Tommy Self a big round of applause. Jack Sadler is here today. Keep that round of applause going for our cameraman for J-98 Web TV. Michelle Menley works in sales for us, and she was the lovely face you saw out front giving you your programs. Round of applause for her, please. And your biggest round of applause for my boss and general manager, Dick Womack. He's the guy that you want to tell that I did a great job afterwards, so give him a big round of applause. Seriously, if you could ham that up a little bit, that'd be great. So what does it mean to be a Dream Teamer? Well, first we'll tell you how it works. At the radio station, 3 times a year we do it. We do it in the fall, we do it in the winter, we do it in the spring. This is the Winter Sports Dream Team Ceremony, 36th annual. And we send out nomination forms to each coach in our listening area, and our listening area expands quite a ways. It goes up into South St. Louis, so Fox, Seckman, Northwest High Schools up there. We go down south as far as, I would say, Piedmont, even down to Van Buren, East Carter, Clearwater High School, and Perryville High School, and then we go, as far east as Perryville High School, and we go quite a ways out west as well. So it's a big area to cover for our listening area, and if you made the Dream Team, it's quite an honor because we do not specify class. There's no class 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. We just throw them all together in one. It's closer to an all-region or all-state type of honor. But we send out the nomination forms to everyone in our listening area, every coach. We have that coach fill those out with statistics. And more importantly, though, to us anyway, we want you to put on there extracurricular activities, academic awards that these students receive, because making the Dream Team isn't just an athletic thing. It speaks a lot to the character of the athletes and what kind of kid that they are while participating in athletics. So we get all these things put on there on these ballots, and it makes for a pretty large ballot most of the time, but it gives other coaches an idea of more than just what they've done on the basketball floor or on the wrestling mat. It more lets them see how they are as individuals, how they perform in school, and everything like that. So we encourage coaches to do that. Once the ballots are put together, we email those back out to the coaches, and then the coaches can vote for the Dream Team. The only stipulation is you cannot vote for your own player. So the Dream Team is selected by opposing coaches, meaning it's that much more of an honor. So that's how you make the Dream Team, and I think the coaches did a great job this year for our winter sports of compiling 30 great athletes to be honored today in St. Genevieve. By the way, before we do go any further, I would like to send out a special thank you to Jeff Nix, St. Genevieve Athletic Director, and Melissa Otto, who directs the theater department here at St. Genevieve, for allowing us to do that today. Let's give them a round of applause. We'll start with wrestling, and first out of the gate to introduce his players. He sent 6 state qualifiers this year, 2 more than a year ago. Please give a warm welcome for John Brown from the DeSoto Dragons.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank J-98 for making the Dream Team possible for all the athletes in our area. Our athletes are very fortunate to be able to participate in this event. I would like to introduce DeSoto senior Aaron Minks. Aaron has not only succeeded on an individual level in wrestling career, he has also helped the team advance with supporting, teaching, and leading his fellow teammates. Aaron has advanced himself and the DeSoto wrestling team greatly. He has held the team captain position for 4 years in his wrestling career. Aaron has earned the Most Valuable Wrestler Award for DeSoto varsity team 4 years in a row. Aaron has also been a 4-time state qualifier, 3-time district champion, and state medalist for 2 years, 6th as a junior and 5th as a senior. This season, he wrestled his way to a strong 52-5 record. This year, Aaron broke many of our long-time standing records. He is only the third wrestler in DeSoto history since the beginning of 1978 to reach the state tournament all 4 years. I would like to mention his record-setting accomplishments. Most wins in a single season, 53 as a junior, 52 as a senior. Most team points scored in a single season, 292 as a senior and 286 as a junior. Career totals, which were also DeSoto records, 182 wins, 116 pins, 1,004 team points. Aaron also was named the Leader Athlete of the Week as a junior and senior. This is his second year being nominated to the Dream Team. He is one of the most dedicated wrestlers on the team. Aaron is an exceptional wrestler who has skills, determination, motivation, and heart. I'm extremely proud to be Aaron's coach. He is going to college to continue his education with plans on majoring in secondary education with a minor in physical education. And then he could take my job over. His long-term goals include becoming a wrestling coach at the high school level. I would lastly like to thank the people that have allowed Aaron to become the wrestler he is today. Aaron's dad, my fellow coach, Don Minks, and has helped Aaron develop the passion he has had for wrestling and has helped other athletes on the team develop the dedication for the sport. Aaron's mom, Lynn, has also been a great part of Aaron's career and our 4 years for our wrestling team. She's been a great person for us. I am honored to be here for Aaron and would like to thank J-98 once again for making this possible. Thank you.
Our next presenter is a 6-time Coach of the Year for wrestling. He tied with his pupil Jared Bennell from St. Genevieve last year, and his team finished 6th at state at the state wrestling meet in Columbia. Mark Kraus from Farmington.
I want to thank the radio station for their coverage. They do a great job covering wrestling, and appreciate their honoring these athletes. So, and I've been doing this for about 23 years now, and it continues to grow. We started out with 3 athletes from the whole area, and now it's up to 10, but it's still a great honor. There's a lot of all-state kids that don't make the team, a lot of great athletes. So I appreciate it, and I hope they realize how big an honor it is to be part of the Dream Team. I'm lucky enough that this year to have 3 guys that are part of the Dream Team. I get one of them back. Unfortunately, the other 2 will be gone, but the first one is Colin Hewitt. Colin is the son of Andy and Sherry Hewitt. Appreciate all the effort that our parents put into our program. It takes a lot of dedication from parents also. We require a lot of our athletes, and in order for them to be successful, they've got to put a lot of time and effort into it. So I appreciate that effort from those parents. Colin is an honor student as well as a great athlete. He's been a 2-time academic all-state wrestler, which just requires him to maintain a GPA of above 3.5 or above, and also be an all-state athlete, which as a freshman and sophomore in the middleweights is a tough thing to do, and a great accomplishment. He's also played football and was a varsity football and baseball letterman winner last year. As far as wrestling, I couldn't ask for much more than have a freshman come in last year and be able to compete at a high level as Colin did. He's a 2-time conference champ for us, a district champion this season for us. He led our team in takedowns for the season, so he's very dominant on his feet. He also led our team in wins this season as a sophomore. We wrestle an extremely tough schedule. We travel all over the state of Missouri and wrestle people from all over the United States. So to win 42 matches in a season is a big accomplishment, and he had a great season for us, went 42-8. He continues to progress as an athlete and a wrestler. I know he was disappointed this year he didn't win a state title, but I believe that in the next 2 years he's got a great chance of winning a couple state titles for us. He finished 5th in the state last year and finished 4th at the state this year, losing a couple close matches at the state tournament, but he's right there on the cusp of becoming that state champion that I know is one of his goals. He finished the season at 42-8 this year, has a career record of 86 wins already. Colin Hewitt. My next athlete is Adam Maple. Adam came to our program as a freshman. As you can see, he's a large man, which is hard. It's hard to get those big guys out sometimes. Or a lot of times they're busy with football and it consumes a lot of their time. But we were lucky enough to get him out as a freshman, and he'd never wrestled before. Told him how good he could be, and I don't know if he believed that at that point, but saw a lot of desire in him and a lot of athletic ability that you just can't find in a big kid like that. But he moves really well, and I knew if he could stay healthy, which unfortunately for the last couple of years has been tough for him. Had a neck injury last year and wasn't able to compete as a junior, but came back this year and had a great season for us. Adam was also a very good football player and threw in track in his career and was an all-conference football player. This year he was a SEMO conference champion for us. I'm sorry, SEMO conference runner-up. Had a tough district tournament, finished 4th. As a first-year starter, it's sometimes tough to learn to win those close matches, and that's a big thing that the experience is invaluable. He wasn't able to have that experience. He was behind somebody else that was a senior as a sophomore, so he didn't get as much experience to winning those matches, but he progressed tremendously this year, learned to win those close matches. Even from the district tournament to the state tournament was a big step for him. He made some adjustments where at the district tournament he lost 2 close matches and ended up 4th at the state tournament, or at the district tournament, and then came back at the state tournament and didn't lose the close matches, won those close ones, and was able to learn from his mistakes at the district tournament and not make the same mistakes when he was in control of a match, not put himself in a situation where he ended up losing. So it was great for his little experiences that he had to be able to accomplish what he did. We're going to miss him. Adam Maple, he finished 5th at the state tournament this year, finished with a career record of 42-15. Adam Maple. My next athlete is also a senior, is Peyton Napoli. Peyton's the son of Tanny and R.J. Napoli. Peyton was also a football athlete and a track letterman. He's a 2-time state qualifier for us, a district champion this year for us. Probably one of the most frustrating athletes I've ever coached. Not because he didn't put out effort, it's just a different mentality. If you know me, a little bit high-strung. I get a little excited. He does not get a little excited. A match can be 0-0 or 1-1, and at the end of the match, and he doesn't get excited. He keeps his composure. To a point that's good, to a point that's bad, and it frustrated me at times. As a sophomore, I thought I was going to have a heart attack many times. And Peyton was on the brunt of my screaming tantrums at times, but he took them, and he learned from them, and man, did he learn how to win close matches. And that was, it wasn't that he did become more offensive. I don't know how many takedowns he had this year, but he had some, which in the past wasn't one of his fortes. He wasn't very aggressive. But he did become more offensive and learn to control matches like probably not very many people in our program. He has done, he knows how to win close matches. An example of that is at the state tournament. He won all, his 3 matches to get to the finals were 2 double overtime matches and a triple overtime matches, which if you understand wrestling, it's that is tough to be able to compete, and you have to have some breaks. So I think he controlled the coin flip a couple times somehow. I don't know how, but he always got his choice, and he ended up winning those matches because he was able to keep his focus and be able to win those type matches. That's tough to do at that level. So he progressed from a frustrating wrestler to a guy that controlled the mat, led our team very well. He wasn't a very vocal guy, never screamed and holler at people like me, but he led by example, and people followed him. Our kids did a good job. He was one of our team captains this year. He did a good job of making sure things got done when they needed to get done. He didn't always just tell kids to do it. He went out and did it, and that's the things that you can't teach. Kids are leaders, and he was a good leader for us, and I appreciate that. He plans to continue his wrestling career next year in college. Look forward to seeing him compete at the next level. He finished the season this year at 37-9 with 16 falls. Finished second at the state tournament. Had a career record of 97-45. Peyton Napoli.
In his Dream Team interview, Colin Hewitt told Mark Toady that his favorite music, and mind you, this is on a country music radio station, told him his favorite music was rap. Now, Colin, I'm not saying that's a bad choice. I'm just saying you could have lied a little bit and made us look good. All right, so our next presenter, he coached the first ever state champion at his high school in wrestling this year, and now we'll be presenting the first Dream Teamer from this sport as well, Tom Bowden from Festus.
I want to thank J-98, and I want to thank Glenn and Tom. I live in Festus, lived there for a long time. I coached wrestling at Rittner High School for years, and I've been around wrestling since 1961, so I'm an elderly guy, I guess. Vietnam veteran, so been around, but, oh, thank you. We've been trying to get, I've been down at Festus since 1980, trying to get a wrestling program down at Festus. And the good thing was that at one of the practices, I ran into Mr. Polite, and he had a Festus shirt on. I thought, wow. So at that point, we were able to start a wrestling program at Festus 3 years ago. And Dustin was a freshman. He was injured his freshman year. He's an excellent person. He came out. He was 5-2 his freshman year. He got injured. Then his sophomore year, he came out, and he was 45-2. Lost 2 matches. And this year he's a state champion. He's 37-0. So right now his record is 87-4, and he's a junior. So we're looking for an outstanding deal with him because he's really an outstanding wrestler. He comes from a real good family. Bless their hearts, they're great people. Dustin is one of the nicest kids I've ever coached in all my years, and I've coached about 35 years. And he's just perfect. He's got real good leadership. Very tough kid, works hard, doesn't need to be coached much. He's very decent human being. I'm just so very lucky to have Dustin with our program. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next presenter is our reigning coach of the year. One of them, Mark Krause, was the other one. He sent 11 wrestlers to state this year and just wrapped up his 5th season with St. Genevieve High School. Welcome Dragons coach Jared Bunnell.
Going to start off a little repetitive, some of the stuff you guys have already heard. Got to get through it though. I'd like to start out first congratulating all the athletes of the Dream Team on their seasons. It's an honor to be able up here to talk about your athletes, let alone seeing all the athletes from the area. So I just want to congratulate everybody up here. Secondly, I'd like to thank KTJJ for their coverage and putting the Dream Team together. Again, it's nice to be able to recognize athletes around the area that maybe doesn't get as much coverage throughout their respective seasons. Sorry. Thanks to all the parents, coaches, and administrators in our school. Like Coach Krause touched on, it's a team effort. There's a lot that goes into a season, not for just the athletes, but the parents, teachers, and administrators as well. You know, when kids let out early, helping kids make up assignments and things like that. So we really appreciate everything that they do as well. Lastly, I'd like to thank my wife. It's been kind of a hectic season for us, moving and a new little one on that just made her presence known about 3 weeks ago. So it was kind of a crazy season for that. But and I guess I'd like to thank my coaches because they really picked me up throughout the season and helped me out with some odd and end things that, you know, just kind of stresses the coaches out as the season goes on. So I'd really like to congratulate them. Now I'm off my soapbox, and I can get to the real stars of the hour here. I'm going to start off with, we actually had two athletes, Tanner Jones and Travis Jones. Unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, we weren't going to be able to have both of them here, but one still was able to come. And I'm going to talk about Tanner first. Tanner Jones. This is about as nice as I've ever seen Tanner look, so I'm kind of taken back. Cleans up nice. Tanner Jones, parents are Larry and Kelly Jones. Anybody in the wrestling world pretty much knows the Jones family or the Jones name one way or another. He had a great junior year. He finished the season 38-8. Season achievements, he was a Cape Tiger Classic runner-up, Branson Invite runner-up, CMO Conference champ, district champ, and he was a fourth-place state medalist this year. Tanner had an outstanding year coming off of 2 seasons that I would say were satisfactory to him. He really didn't find his niche for his weight class until this year. He was kind of either too small for his weight class, or he was behind a couple studs early on in his career. But he worked, Tanner improved a ton from this season to last season. He worked on his weaknesses in the offseason and became much more offensive. This year we weren't so scared to put him down because prior seasons we'd put Tanner down and he'd get, rode out for 4 minutes, and we were afraid to put him down. But this year he really worked on that. That was a goal coming into the season. He worked with our coaches and improved a great deal. And by the end of the season, we were putting him down all the time. So I really appreciate his hard work in the offseason on improving his skills. With the hard work came reward. Tanner was able to find a spot on the podium for the first time in his Missouri High School State Championships. He is looking forward to a senior year with several goals in mind. Tanner would like to become the first wrestler in his family to become an undefeated state champion, and I'm sure he would like to collect several of the school awards as most pins and most wins on a season. Tanner is starting to look at several universities in hopes of continuing his education and wrestling career. Tanner Jones. The other athlete I'm going to talk about briefly is Travis Jones. Unfortunately, Travis was unable to attend tonight. He helps at the USA State Wrestling Tournament, and he's actually preparing right now to leave for a college visit, NC State. So, best of luck to him. I know he really wanted to be here, but, hopefully everybody understands that, he's got to go visit that college and hopefully get some education to go with it. Travis is also son of Larry and Kelly Jones. Travis has a current GPA of 2.8. He has a recorded, his record this year was 45-2. His career record, he ended up with 169 wins and 19 losses, 110 of those by fall, which was pretty impressive. Anytime you can have 110 pins in your career, that's a lot of points. As you heard of the amount of points Aaron Minks scored, that helps out a lot. Career achievements from 2011 to 2014. Travis was a Westminster Invite State champ twice, Tiger Classic champ 4 times, Branson Invite runner-up 3 times, CMO Conference champ 3 times, district champ 3 times. He qualified in 2011 as a freshman. He was a state champ 2012 and 2013, and he placed 3rd this year as a senior 2014. He also went undefeated in several of the dual tournaments throughout the year and has been selected to Dream Team the past 3 years. Travis has won several individual awards this year, including Outstanding Wrestler Tiger Classic and team awards such as Most Takedowns, Most Pins, Most Wins, and Most Valuable Wrestler. Travis continued to work over the summer as most talented wrestlers do. He received All-American honors by placing 5th at the USAW Folk Style National Championships in Iowa. Travis has matured a great deal over the past 4 years, not only as a wrestler but as an individual. He has become a mentor for other wrestlers in the youth program as well as his peers in the middle school and high school program. He spends a large amount of his free time helping out the kids in our youth program. Travis is a team player, and even though he could have wrestled at just about any weight class, he wrestled at the weight class that benefited the team rather than himself. Travis is being looked at by several universities such as NC State, Arizona State, and Michigan State. He is undecided where he will attend at this time, but he is favoring NC State, as I just explained. Travis has been a joy to coach. The intensity and leadership he has displayed in our program will be missed. I know Travis's hard work and dedication will take him far in the next chapter of his life. Travis Jones.
Our next presenter actually couldn't be here today, but he sent 9 wrestlers to state this year, where his team actually finished higher than any other team in our listening area at the state meet, 5th place. But his wrestlers are, I believe, competing in a national competition, right, Tommy?
Not all of them are, but some of them.
So a few, maybe 1 or 2 of them. So he's actually helping out with that. I believe it's Weston Bosler that's competing. Or is it Luke Weiland? Luke Weiland is competing there. So congratulations to him, and Coach Cody Green is helping out with that. But he did send me a statement to read on his behalf, and I will do that right now for Coach Cody Green. First off, I'd like to thank Regional Radio, especially KJFF, the station that he works most closely with, for recognizing these student athletes from Seckman. Brock, Luke, and Weston have been the core of this team for the past 3 seasons. The 3 of them have achieved great things here at Seckman and will no doubt have their names in the record books. Weston and Luke are the first freshman placers for us and will look to take home state titles as their 4th state medal next year. Brock is now our first 3-time state champion, and I expect to see him on ESPN Saturday evening sometime in the next few years wrestling for a national title. The work they have put in to accomplish what they have would take too much time to list, but they are definitely in rare territory, and it shows. These things would not have been achieved without an absurd amount of hard work and support from their families. It's been an absolute pleasure to coach these individuals. So I'd like to present as Dream Teamers Weston Bosler, Brock Wingbermuley, and Luke Weiland from Seckman. And with that, it's time to announce Wrestler and Coach of the Year in the sport of wrestling. And we'll start with Wrestler of the Year. A 171-19 career record at his high school, 53-1 with 34 pins this year, and a 3-time state champion from Seckman, Brock Wingbermuley. And our Coach of the Year is one of 2 coaches at the Dream Team to have a state champion, finished higher at state as a team than any other coach in the area, Cody Green from Seckman High School. So again, unfortunately, neither could be here today. We'll get them their certificates and plaques at a later date, and certainly we'll catch up with them down the road. But let's give one more big round of applause for the Wrestling Dream Team 2014. We move on to girls basketball now, and our first presenter led his team to its 2nd straight 20-win season, won the MAAA Small Schools Conference, going undefeated in conference play for the 2nd straight year, and they were district runners-up in which was a loaded district from Arcadia Valley, Adam Waddell.
Well, first of all, I'd like to echo what, just about everybody said so far. I'd like to thank J-98 for putting this on, for putting all the time in that they do to recognize our athletes and covering our athletes. And, I want to congratulate all these athletes up here. They're, like's been said before, this is a very impressive accomplishment. They go up against a lot of athletes, and it takes in a wide area. And so I just want to congratulate all you guys on this. I also want to thank the other coaches who voted for my athlete today. She's just a great kid, and it's good to see that other people see what I see in her. So, Anna Thomas. Anna's the daughter of Martin and Carolyn Thomas, and they're great people. If you haven't met them, they're great people, and they're very supportive of Anna. They take her all over the place to play and to practice and whatever else. She's always on the go, and actually just played today, and that's almost cutting it right at the edge there. So she's, but that's just what she does, you know. But you know, they've produced a great kid. You know, she's a great person on and off the court. You know, I've had many compliments from refs, from other players, from other coaches, you know, on her. She does things the right way, you know, and that's something to say, because there's a lot of kids nowadays that I don't think do things the right way, you know, but she does. You know, she's got a very high character. She sets a good example for all the other kids. She's always very respectful. She's a great student too. She's number 2 in her class right now, and you know, I'm sure she'll keep fighting to be number 1, because that's what she does. She's involved with a lot of clubs and stuff at school, and other sports. She's very accomplished in her running also. She's been all-state and cross-country and all-conference and all-district and all that to go with it too. And same thing in track. She's been all-conference and all-district. But the reason she's here today is because of basketball. She's been a 3-year starter for me as a junior this year. She led us in scoring. She led us in steals. And she was second in assists. She's like I said, she's been a 3-year varsity starter, which has been 81 games. She's never missed a game. She's a tough kid, even though it looks like, you know, a stiff wind could blow her over. She's actually a lot tougher than she looks. She's pretty strong, actually, and I think some other players could probably attest to that. You know, we've had to put her up against some other kids, you know, especially another dream teamer tonight, Lexi Morris, you know, and she's you know, she's a lot smaller than her, you know, and she's held her own with anybody. She's just she's a tough kid. But this year she averaged 13.8 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, 3.2 steals, 2.4 assists. She shot 44% from the floor, 36% from the free throw line, or from the three-point line, and 64% from the free throw line. In her 3 years, she's scored 1,152 points. She scored her 1,000th point the 17th game of the season this year against Valley Catholic. She only needed 2 points coming in, which killed me, because the game before I couldn't remember for sure. I knew she was real close, but I thought I had missed it, and so I felt really bad about that. But she was only 2 points away, and just, you know, like I said, it was a great moment for her. She's got 249 rebounds, 39 blocks, 267 steals, and 206 assists. She's a first-team all-conference all 3 years, all-district all 3 years. She was second-team all-region last year, and dream team last year and this year. You know, she's, like I said, she's just a great kid. She's been instrumental in rebuilding our program. We went through some rough years, some coaching changes, and you know, we've really been working to try to get ourselves back in a good position, and she's really helped us do that. In the last 2 years, we've won 41 ball games, 2 undefeated conference championships, and I know that we wouldn't have been able to do that without her. Like I said, she's every coach's dream. You know, she's a great leader, even though she's extremely quiet until you get to really know her. But she always does what she's supposed to do, like I said, and she always leads by example. Even if she's not that vocal leader, she's doing it by example. The gym's open, she's going to be there, you know, and like I said, that once again, I think there's a lot of kids you can't say that about anymore. But if it's open, I know she's going to be there. She's a hard worker. She's, like I said, she runs cross country. And that's one of those things I can put her in a game and just leave her, and I know she's good to go because she's in shape. And probably the biggest thing I could say about her is that she's humble, you know, and like I said, it's you get some of these really good athletes sometimes that like to let you know that they're a good athlete, and honestly, I don't think you would even know she's a good athlete if you didn't come watch her play, because that's just how she is. She's just, she goes about her business, and like I said, she does it the right way, and so I appreciate that. I appreciate everything she's done for our program, and luckily we've got her for 1 more year, so that's Anna Thomas.
Next up, we have a coach who, it was his first year with his team, and all I did was lead him to a 26-2 season. Both losses coming to the eventual state runner-up. Also got the team its second district title in three years. From Central, Josh Mapes.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'd like to thank J-98 for all the coverage they did for high school girls and boys basketball. I know parents appreciate it, the kids appreciate it, and the coaches appreciate it as well. I'm going to go ahead and have both of my athletes come up because the sisters can't be separated. They can only be separated in practice where they can't guard each other because we might have to break up a fist fight. I'm here to speak on behalf of Sydney and Megan Skaggs. They are the daughters of Phil and Teresa Skaggs. It's truly an honor to stand here to speak on these two girls. I can't explain in words what good girls they are. They excel on and off the court. They are great girls in the classroom. They do a great job on the court. They represent themselves with class for our school. They're role models for our young kids, our 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, even our freshmen and sophomore kids really look up to these girls. They're great character kids. I can't say enough about them. The best compliment I could give them is, if my 2 daughters grow up to be like these 2 girls, I'll be proud of them. And 6 foot tall, can handle the ball and put it in the basket as well. I'm going to start with Sydney Skaggs with some of her accomplishments. Sydney is a all-conference volleyball player 3 years in a row. She's all-conference first team in basketball 3 years, all-district basketball 3 years. This year, Sydney was selected first team unanimous all-conference, all-district, all-region, dream team, and we found that this week she accomplished first team All-State, which is a great accomplishment. Sydney, as a 3-year starter, has won the conference championship 1 time, the conference tournament 3 times, the Christmas and Potosi tournament 1 time. She is a 2-time district champion as well. Sydney has scored over 900 points in her career, pulling down 600 rebounds as well in her career. Her clubs include Honor Society, FCA, Student Advisory. Sydney is in the top 20 of her class. Sydney's future plans are to play, hopefully basketball, but maybe volleyball when she gets in college as well. Sydney Skaggs, thank you. Stay standing up here with your sister. Like the sister she is, she's not going to leave her little sister up here by herself. Megan Skaggs. Megan is a sophomore. She is volleyball all-conference as a freshman and sophomore. She was first team all-district as a freshman volleyball and sophomore. She was a Dream Team player this year as a sophomore in volleyball, and she was also named All-State this year in volleyball. Her basketball awards were Megan was an all-conference basketball player as a freshman. She was first team unanimous this year, first team all-district, and she's a member of the Dream Team. She averaged 15 points, 8 rebounds a game, and 3 assists. Did I give you a point total? Yeah. No, Sydney Skaggs also averaged 17 points a game, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks. She'll be mad if I did it for Megan and not for her, so I better go back. Megan is a member of Student Council, FCA, Pep Club, and the C Club. Megan is also in the top 10% of her class. Her future plans are to attend college, get a 4-year degree, and play either volleyball or basketball. This year, these 2 ladies led their team to a 26-2 record. During the year, they were Potosi Tournament champs, Christmas Tournament champs, Conference Tournament champs, Conference champs, and District champs. Without these 2 girls and the leadership they provided this year, we couldn't have done it without them, and I would like to thank them and their parents for the season we had. Sydney and Megan Skaggs. Hugs? No.
Next up, we have a presenter who has now led his team to back-to-back 20-plus win seasons. From Clearwater High School, oh, they were also conference champs, by the way. From Clearwater High School, Darren Garrison.
I'd like to thank J-98 for their coverage of us this year. We're in the south end of their coverage area, and they did a good job getting down to us and see some good basketball. I'd like to also congratulate the athletes on the stage tonight. It's been a long year, and I'm glad to see you guys up here and appreciate your accomplishments and hard work, and I'm sure all the other coaches do too. I'd like to introduce tonight Lexi Morris. Lexi is a 3-time Dream Team selection. She's 3-time All-State. This year, she averaged 29.3 points per game, 10.6 rebounds per game, and 2 steals a game. She broke the career scoring record at Clearwater High School and will set that way out ahead of anybody that will ever try and break it in their near future next year when she graduates. For her career, she scored 2,225 points for a 27.4 average over 3 years. She's made 253 three-pointers, shooting 36% from there. She shot 53% from the 2-point line over her career, and she's an 82% free throw shooter. She led her team to a 21-5 record this year. Over her 81-game career at Clearwater, she hasn't scored double figures only 1 time. 80 out of 81 times she's been in double figures. Interesting story about Lexi. Anybody that's seen her play, she's tough. She's hard-nosed. She's a hard worker. We're getting ready to go. We're getting on the bus to go to a game on a Saturday down at Three Rivers. Lexi's not here yet. Car's not in the parking lot. And I'm thinking, what's going on? She gets here, she rides with another girl, and we get going down the road a little bit, and I'm fiddling with something, and she comes up behind me and says, "Coach, I need to tell you something." And I said, "Okay, what is it?" She goes, "Well, I rolled my car twice last night." And I turn around, that obviously gets my attention. I turn around and start looking at her, and she goes, "I'll be all right, I'll be all right." I'm like, well, yeah, thank goodness she had her seatbelt on, but she goes out that day and scores 45, and we win by about 30. Now, I didn't coach her and tell her to roll her car anymore the rest of the year, but that tells you the type of hard-nosed player that she is. She's a gym rat. She loves to be in the gym, and, thank goodness she'll be at Clearwater for one more year. And I'm proud to have her on my team, Lexi Morris.
Lexi and I have something in common. One day after wrecking her car, she plays in a basketball game. 3 weeks in a surgery after breaking my leg. Here I am hosting Dream Team ceremony. So it's really just heart of a champion, right, Lexi? I mean, some people have it, some people don't. It's tougher than it looks. Our next presenter, district runners-up this year for the second straight year, also co-conference champs. She'll be presenting her daughter today, Kim Kingsland from DeSoto.
I guess this will be a repeat, but I'd like to thank J-98. We appreciate it. I love the small town coverage of our small town sports, and you've been doing it a long time and really appreciate that. And also I'd like to just say what an honor it is for my player, my daughter, to be in this group of athletes over here. We've played against a lot of you, and I don't look forward to it. But would Kelsey Kingsland, would you step up here, please? She's already threatened me that this better be short, so I'll try to scoot away from my paper. Oh, sorry. So I'll try to keep it as short as possible. First, I'm going to take a little... You're on my shoulder, you're making me nervous. I'd like to take a little bit of different spin on what I have to say. One thing that I know, just from the parent perspective of it, sorry, I went too close, is what these athletes, I know they're similar probably to what Kelsey has put in, but I know they've put in a lot of long hours outside the sport season. I know they put in a lot of sweat, a lot of mileage. Parents, I know personally that you dip into your pocketbooks a lot. We've spent a lot of money on this. And there's been lots of sacrifices. I know, speaking for Kelsey, she's going to miss prom this year because of volleyball. She missed prom last year. She's missed homecoming. She's been late to 2 homecomings. So what these kids put into it, there are sacrifices that go along with it. I know she set her alarm many years to be up, at least an hour in the weight room before school starts. And that's the thing, the passion that these kids is fueled by their hard work. And I think that's important to recognize with all these athletes up here. And one thing I probably don't say at all or enough to her is just how proud I am of her. And I know she's squirming right now, telling me to wrap this up, but I'm going to start when she was born, but I promise it won't take that long. I'll skip ahead. You might have heard this story when Coach Rhodes and myself were interviewed on KJEF earlier this year, but I was coaching at Jefferson College with Coach Rhodes when Kelsey was born, the day after Christmas, and somehow Coach Rhodes ended up in the recovery room, and my husband had disappeared to tell the family about her, and he was the first person to hold Kelsey. Well, I believe, and we've since said that she got the magic touch of basketball that very moment when he actually had her in his arms. She grew up on the sidelines, literally. starting at Jefferson College and moved on to some different places that I've coached. And somewhere along the way, she took a liking to the sport, obviously. But her dad, who's here today, he's always said, well, I think this is too much. Kelsey thinks it's too much. And she's insisted that it's not, and she's still a very driven athlete. She has, I'm sure, similar stats and accolades to everybody up here. I'm not going to go into all of them. Just some accomplishments this year, though. She passed the 1,000-point mark in scoring, which was she had no idea that it was coming that night. Was surprised when we, had a sign out for her. But I think that something that I'm prouder of, and I know she smiles, is when she passed up my career mark of scoring this year, and she still has a year left, so she's going to shatter my record. And actually, I had a lot more games under my belts because we went to state my senior year and won, and so she's doing it with a lot less games under her belt. One other thing that I'd like to say about her this year, she did average a double-double with 16 points and 10 rebounds all season long. And her dad and I and the coaching staff at DeSoto, we're real proud of all those things, but what we're most proud about Kelsey is that she gives credit to our Savior, God. We went to the character breakfast the other day, and Kelsey's quote was, "Thank him every day, for he is the one who let you play." That's I guess, what means the most to us, because she is a humble kid. She doesn't like to stand up here in the limelight, so I know she's wanting me to wrap this up, but that's one thing, her personality, her passion, and that I wanted to recognize her for, and I appreciate the coaches that recognize something in her too. This weekend, she didn't want me to say this, but just some other people that have recognized she is being sought after by D1 schools in volleyball and basketball, and we're going to be taking a trip to West Point and the Naval Academy this weekend because they see something in her too. For volleyball, both, and Navy wants her for basketball also. So she's got a lot of decisions, as I know a lot of these athletes up here have too. I'll leave you with a quote from John Wooden. He's one of my favorites. "What you are as a person is far more important than what you are as a basketball player." Kelsey Kingsland.
Coach Kingsland mentioned a character breakfast. That was actually at Perryville, in Perryville at the American Legion. I was there. I was the guest speaker for that. And what I noticed in a lot of the athletes that were at that brunch are athletes that are here today or have been here in the past. And I don't think that's a coincidence at all. Our Dream Team athletes, more times than not, are also character athletes, and I think that's pretty special. Our next presenter led his team to an 18-win season this year. Just one conference loss. He's also the 2009 Boys Basketball Coach of the Year from North County High School, Joe Arnold.
Of course, I want to echo it and everybody thanking Glenn and his staff for everything, but I think there needs to be a shout out to the parents. You guys as parents oftentimes don't get thanked enough or even recognized, so I want to do that, especially with my group of parents, because parents, you send your children off to practice, and coaches, in a good mood, and coaches, we send them home grumpy, And then you've got to put up with it the rest of the night. And, I know I've got kids too. I know how it is. If the kids aren't happy, sometimes nobody's happy. But I want to give a shout out to parents. And the parents I have at North County are fantastic. Not only just the support they give the kids and me and our staff, but just a lot of the off-season stuff that they do that sometimes coaches don't have time to do. So just want to give a shout out and a thanks to them. Fortunately for us, the success of our program, we have two athletes that have made Dream Team, so if they both would come forward, Emily Eaton and Courtney Kekek. I'll talk about Emily first. She's a sophomore at our high school, and she is the daughter of Ted Eaton and stepmom Becky Eaton, and her mother Stacy Price and stepdad Raphael Price. Emily is a sophomore. She's an amazing athlete in the first place. When I saw her play in 8th grade, I wasn't real sure as far as what she would be able to contribute as a freshman last year in our program. And she not only surprised me and everybody else, but I think she really surprised herself of the ability and the skills she had. And every team has players that have to play certain roles. Some players are ball handlers and they don't get to score that much. Some players are asked to be defensive specialists and maybe they don't get to score that much. And a lot of times, the players who score all the time, get a lot of the ink and the press coverage. But Emily, in the true sense, is a scorer. I mean, that is her job, and that is her role that she takes on. She's an excellent shooter. She's in the top. She's either leading us or she's in the top 2 in all the statistical categories we have. And I'm not going to give you a bunch of categories because sometimes it's hard to compare statistics when all the schools don't play the same schedule. But like I said, she's an excellent shooter, excellent as far as taking the basketball and driving to the hole, and top in rebounding and so forth. But getting back to her role as a scorer, if she has a weakness when it comes to a scorer's role, sometimes I'll get onto her in practice for maybe passing the ball. Sometimes she'll be in a position where she can score, and she'll give the ball up to a teammate, which a lot of times as a coach, we want players to do this. But she is a very, very good finisher around the basket and when she gets close to the basket. And sometimes I kind of fuss at her because she passes those shots up. So hopefully in the future, she'll get a little more selfish in that regard. Like everybody up here, she's been all conference, all district for the last 2 seasons. This year's a sophomore. She has surpassed 700 points. So I think next year, her junior year, she will break the 1,000-point mark, which is a huge accomplishment for any athlete. She's an excellent student. She's involved in a lot of the school clubs and programs we have at school. And probably the best thing that I can say about Emily is that she wants to learn. Sometimes coaches, what we think we are giving is constructive criticism, isn't always accepted that way by athletes. And she's at the true sense of an excellent listener and acknowledging back to the coaching staff, yeah, I heard you and I know what you need to do. And then she goes out and she performs that skill. And so truly a joy to coach. The best part is that our program has Emily back for 2 more years. Like I said, this year she's only a sophomore. And I always end with, what's in store for these athletes. And for Emily, the sky's the limit. I mean, she's an excellent offensive player. Defensive skills came along very well this year. Excellent rebounder. Continuing to work on her ball handling. The sky is really the limit for Emily as far as what she wants to do for the rest of her high school career and possibly play beyond high school, because I know sometimes kids have those desires. In addition to basketball, she's also an excellent volleyball player. So we're very, very fortunate at North County High School to have an athlete of Emily's caliber. And I know she's one of the she and Courtney are 2 of the 10 reasons, which are, the other 10 reasons are our players, why I keep coming back. Because in my 33 years of coaching, probably this year was the most enjoyable I've had. We didn't win every game. We lost to Central 4 times and lost to a couple other teams. But it was probably more enjoyable for me because of the attitude they come to practice with every day. They've got great sense of humor, and they work extremely hard. You wouldn't even know if they're showing up in a bad mood or a good mood sometimes because they come in with the same focus every day. And so that's what keeps me coming back as a coach and really excited about continuing to coach a player like Emily Eaton. So I present to you Emily Eaton from North County High School. Along with Emily is Courtney Kekek. Courtney is a junior at our high school. She is the daughter of Larry Kekek and Dawn Kekek. We talk about player roles and Emily being excellent in a lot of the roles she plays. Courtney has to be good in everything we do. I probably demand and probably have demanded more out of Courtney than probably any of the boys I coached when I was coaching at Farmington, and especially any other players that I coach, because she can do so much more. And that can be extremely tough on an athlete sometimes. Sometimes players would like to know that all I have to do is this, but Courtney is expected to handle the ball. She's expected to score. She's expected to be our best defensive player. All of our players are expected to be great defensive players. But probably the biggest thing that she's expected to do is she is expected to be one of our team leaders. And not just the rah-rah, here we go, guys, because anybody can do that. She can back it up by not only telling people this is what we need to do, or come on, guys, but she can actually get out on the floor and watch it. As a joke, one of the statistics that she leads our school in is bloody noses. you're liable to see her playing with Kleenex stuffed up in her nose, sticking that far out of her nose, and just keeps going and going and going. That's just how hard-nosed and valuable she is to our team. And sometimes her natural position, she doesn't really get to play on our team for a full game. And that's why I've always told Courtney, I think once you leave high school, you may end up getting into college and being a better player there than maybe you were in high school, because the college game may more suit her style, where teams don't pack it in the lane, and she can play more of just a one of a natural position and not have to prepare for either 4 or 5 positions as we play. Courtney next year, just like Emily, will probably also break the 1,000-point mark, which is a great accomplishment for any players. Emily is a team leader on our team because she's our leading scorer and has been that for 2 years. Courtney is our team leader because she makes everybody else around her better. And sometimes that's a more valuable skill to have as a player than it is anything else, because Courtney can give her teammates the basketball in positions where they can be successful and score. And that's one of the things I'm most proud about of Courtney. Courtney's an excellent student, number 2 in the class. She's like Emily, she's involved in many of the school clubs, also excels in volleyball. And I would say the best skill that Courtney has, along with Emily, both of them, is their dedication to our program and our team. Not only during the season, but also during the off season. And this year we had such a terrible, terrible winter. And when the school would send you, I'll just say it. When one of the administrators would send you a text telling you can't practice that day, okay, because they don't want to get any phone calls, okay, that's why they would do it. I would get a text from someone later and say, hey, we opened the gym and there were this many girls in. And Courtney and Emily were the 2 behind it, and getting everybody else in to play and do those kinds of things. So that's their best skill, is their dedication to our team and our program. Courtney, her future, just like Emily, sky's the limit, We're looking for a very, very great year out of both of them. Emily for 2 years. That's the good news. The bad news is you got to put up with me for 2 more years, or 1 more year. And I know when they do graduate and leave the North County Lady Raiders, they're going to be greatly missed, because they have established a criteria that's very, very difficult to reach at this high school, and that criteria just keeps growing higher and higher and higher as we continue to play each year. So we have Emily Eaton and we have Courtney Kekak, North County Lady Raiders. Thank you, girl.
Our next presenter, it's actually his second stint back with his program, but it's his first year back with the program. He turned the team around from 10 wins the year before he got there to 15 this year. He was also our girls basketball coach of the year in 2012, Matt Bradley from the Potosi Trojans.
Again, I'd like to echo what all the other coaches have said and thank KTJJ for all their tremendous coverage of all the high school sports. And I'd like to congratulate all the athletes up here. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication to get to where they are, and I'm proud of mine, but I'm also proud of all the other kids up here for their great accomplishment. It's my pleasure to introduce, from Potosi High School, Miss Allie Golden. Allie is the daughter of Tim and Karen Golden, and Allie is a tremendous student athlete at Potosi High School. She's involved in ETS, FCA, FCCLA, the yearbook staff, and the ambassador program at our high school, and does a great job with all of that stuff, in addition to playing volleyball and basketball. She had a tremendous year for us this year. She averaged 17 points a game, 8 rebounds a game, shot 48% from the field, and those are great numbers. But in the end, the best thing about Allie is the only number that really matters to her is the number that's on the scoreboard at the end of the game. She puts a lot of time and effort into how our team plays, and we ask her to do an awful lot for us. And she handles all that with grace and with dignity. And I've heard this from a couple of other coaches, but I really didn't think about it until on the way down here. Allie's one of the most humble, great players that I've ever been around. She doesn't seek the spotlight. She's probably embarrassed right now that I'm talking about her. She's a great teammate. She's totally invested in our team and her teammates and our program. And that's what I'm the most proud of her for. Best thing about Allie is I get her for 2 more years, Miss Allie Golden.
Next up, he was the 2010 Coach of the Year. This year fell just short of back-to-back 20-win seasons, but always has a great basketball program. From St. Pius High School, Aaron Portell.
Hey, I'm here to talk on behalf of Alex Linder. Alex is the daughter of Kirk and Monica Linder. Alex is a terrific player and an outstanding person, and it's an honor to coach her and also teach her. Alex is a 3-year starter for me and had a career best season this year. Statistically, she finished with a 16.3 average, which led our conference. She shot 41% from the floor and 35% from the three-point line. She averaged 3.5 steals a game and shot a conference best 72% from the free throw line this season. Alex also scored her 1,000th career point this season and will most likely become the school's all-time points leader next season. Throughout the season, Alex was named MVP of the Herculaneum tournament. She was the MVP of our conference. She was named to the all-district team for the 2nd time and has made a dream team a 2nd time. Alex is an incredible team leader. She is well respected by her teammates. She's extremely dedicated and most of all passionate about the game. Her leadership was a key component for this season's success. She put her team ahead of herself, which is easily said but much harder to put into action. Not only is Alex a great basketball player, but she's also an outstanding soccer player. She's a 3-year starter on our varsity soccer team and helped our soccer team take 1st place in 2012 and 2nd place a year ago. Alex is a great player and an athlete, but she's an even better student. Alex has a grade point average of a 4.0 on a 4.0 scale and is ranked 5th in her class out of 87 students. Alex, I'm proud of what you accomplished and even more proud of whom you have become. Thank you.
Our next presenter and the program that he represents, really underrated because he plays in the same district, coaches in the same district as Clearwater, Arcadia Valley, St. Pius, Saxony Lutheran. But in his first 2 seasons with his program, he's combined for 35 wins as head coach. Please welcome from Woodland, Coach Robert Stein.
Good afternoon. I would like to begin by thanking probably the same people everyone else has thanked. I'd like to thank the radio station for putting this on. This is an unbelievable honor for these athletes up here. It's an honor for me to be able to see these athletes. I'd like to thank our administration, our teachers, for helping our children get ready and prepared for basketball and for their future. I'd like to thank my wife, because she's basically divorced from September through March, for sticking with me. I'd also like to thank Josie Long's family. Her mom and dad, grandma and grandpa are here. They've been a huge influence on her life. In the last 2 years, I've only been coaching girls basketball for 2 years. I can't tell you how many times I've heard Josie tell me that's what my grandpa told me when I've asked her to fix something or do something. That's exactly what my grandpa said. So that's been a lot of fun. But I'm here to introduce and talk about Josie Long. Josie's a leader in our school. She is a 4-year letterman in basketball. She's an all-star in softball and volleyball, along with basketball. She's a member of our PEP club, supports all the other clubs that we have. She's a member of Beta. Like I said, in 2 years, that's all I've had the chance to coach her, and I feel extremely blessed and lucky to have had those 2 years with her. We run a lot in our practices. Conditioning's a pretty big thing that we do, and she's never lost a line drill in 2 years, not even really been close. So her work ethic and her desire have been, very, very impressive. Last year, she was all-district, all-region. She was 2nd team all-state. All those awards haven't been given out this year, but this year she's already been the Southeast Missouri Athlete of the Week once in the Missourian. She's an all-district player. We don't have a conference, so she's not in an all-conference, but she obviously would be if we had one. She's been a part of the 4 best years Woodland girls basketball has ever had. She's part of the team that got 2nd in our district a few years back. She had the best record in our school history last year, a major part of that, and the second best record in our school history this year, mainly because we played less games this year than we did last year. I think our record would have been better. Individually, she's averaged 26 points a game, which is just phenomenal. Almost averaged 10 steals a game, 9.4, and she's averaged 11.2 rebounds. While I'm very appreciative for all these stats and how awesome she is at basketball, I'm very nervous about where we're going to even get close to replacing that in the future. In her career, she scored almost 1,700 points. In just the 2 years I've had her, that's the only stats that I've been able to, other than points, she's had over 500 steals and over 500 rebounds, and that's pretty impressive. Next year, her future goals is she's going to play for Mineral Area College next year, which I'm excited for, to get to see her play at the next level, and she hopes to become an athletic trainer. I'm extremely proud of the athlete and the player that Josie Long is, not just in basketball, but in volleyball and softball. Getting to watch her play that is a blast. I'm even more proud of what kind of young lady she is, and I know it for a fact that I'm definitely going to miss having her leadership on our team next year. Ladies and gentlemen, Josie Long.
You guys don't have to feel bad for thanking us. We're just vain enough to go ahead and let that happen. As we present Player of the Year, I'm happy to announce that both Player and Coach of the Year for girls basketball are here today. We'll start with girls basketball, the Player of the Year, and just whoever it is, come up and get your plaque from Tommy. And Michelle, I'll ask that you snap a picture with the Player of the Year with the plaque as well. But the Player of the Year for girls basketball, in her junior season this year, she averaged a double-double, close to 30 points per game, over 10 rebounds per game. She's also the Black River League Player of the Year. From Clearwater High School, Lexi Morris. And just a reminder, we ask that the Coach of the Year comes up and just says a few words in acceptance of the award. Our Coach of the Year won the Potosi and Central Christmas tournaments, along with conference and district tournaments, undefeated in conference play. Josh Mapes from the Central Lady Rebels. Two losses this year, both to the Dexter Lady Bearcats. Dexter went on to the state championship game where they faced a nationally ranked Incarnate Word team and really held their own in that state championship. So Central had a really competitive team this year, to say the least.
Well, it's truly an honor to receive this award, but I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of guys sitting out there that forgot more about basketball than I'll probably ever know. And this award wouldn't happen if I didn't have a bunch of great players and a bunch of great kids, a good school district to work for, and people who have really supported me. I'd also like to thank my wife. Like Coach from Woodland said, she didn't see me a whole lot, and she'd ask me 2 or 3 nights a week, haven't you seen them play 3 or 4 times already in the last 2 weeks? Yes, honey, I have, and I'm still going to watch them play. I put my family, second, honestly, during basketball season, and now I'm going to take a couple weeks for them. I would like to thank some people who have influenced me in coaching as well. I was very fortunate as a high school player to play for 3 Hall of Fame coaches. 1, Whitey Lawson, my baseball coach. 2, Cy Bradley, my basketball coach. And he's not a Hall of Famer yet, but Coach Mack will be. And if he's not, people are crazy. And I want to thank you guys and my dad for helping me with all my coaching. Thank you.
He's referring to Coach Steve McFarland, who is here today. He's the Farmington girls basketball coach. Coach, thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. One more big round of applause for the girls basketball Dream Team 2014. Our first presenter in boys basketball led his team to back-to-back district titles the last 2 years, over 40 wins during that span. He's the reigning Coach of the Year from Clearwater, Lewis Bell.
I'd also like to thank KTJJ, the radio station, their staff for all the work they do. Congratulations to all the athletes up here on the stage. I know it's a lot of hard work that they put in, a lot of time. With the young men that are up here that play basketball, I've got to see most of them play on multiple occasions, and they're a very talented group. I would like to present today Austin Ayers from Clearwater High School. Austin is the son of Richie and Lisa Ayers, and I'd like to thank them for everything that they do for our program. They're great people, great parents, and a lot of help to our program. Austin has been a four-year starter for us at the varsity level. If you got to see him play as a freshman, and look at him now, he's a little bit taller now than he was as a freshman. He came in, his feet and his height were about the same. And he would trip over his feet a little bit, and he's really grown and matured into a great young man and a great player for us. This year, he averaged just under 20 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 3.5 steals, 3.5 assists. Shot 61% inside the line and 38% from the three-point line. This year, he was OFC All-Conference. He was Black River League All-Conference and Player of the Year. Made the BA All-Star team and also the coaches All-State basketball team. Austin's been a part, again, he's been at the varsity, on the varsity team for 4 years, been a part of 78 wins for our program, back-to-back district championships, scored over 1,100 points in his career, and probably most importantly this year, he passed his mother in total points scored at Clearwater High School, so that's a record that he has in his home. Austin, he's an outstanding young man, outstanding student, is involved in many school activities, and I've been blessed to be able to coach him these last 4 years, and we're going to miss him in our program. Austin Ayers.
The next coach led his team to its first ever appearance in the state Final Four, where they represented very well. In fact, they were probably one, maybe two plays away from playing in a state championship. He had an undefeated regular season conference record to go along with the district title. From Farmington, Justin Callahan.
First of all, obviously, I'd like to thank KTJJ for the wonderful event that they put on, and for the coverage throughout the year. Honestly, Mr. Womack, Glenn, and Chad, can't say enough about the job they do. I love listening to them myself, I'll tell you that much. Nice job. It is my privilege to get to introduce to you Jordan Ankrum from Farmington. Jordan is the son of Kirk and Rochelle, who, by the way, little note, you know, we made it to the Final Four, pretty exciting last week. They got to go up and watch their son play in Columbia, and then about 3 days later, Monday night, daughter Morgan, who, if you look through your program here, former Dream Teamer, I think Player of the Year, got to play Monday night in the NAIA Women's Division I semifinal. So I think they got to go down to Kentucky to watch that. So pretty exciting. I think they're doing something right there. Jordan is a unanimous all-conference for the second year, unanimous all-district second year, second time being on the Dream Team. He was here last year at this time. As a matter of fact, I think I was saying something like, I'll be shocked if he wasn't here again this year, and here we are. We found out this week he is Missouri Basketball Coaches Association All-State. Student-wise, Jordan does an excellent job in the classroom. If I've converted right, we're on an 11-point scale, but converted to 4-point scale, easier to understand. He's about 3.41. Jordan's an excellent baseball player, plays catcher for the baseball team. Last year started varsity, this year. Matter of fact, somebody told me the other day, I didn't see the game, but the basketball players, I think, came out and had maybe one practice in their first game. The only players that got hits were the basketball players, Jordan and Brett, and I think Jonah got hits. As far as stat-wise, he led our team in scoring and rebounding, 15.1 points per game, 7.6 rebounds, shot about 55% from the 2-point. 3-point percentage down from last year. I'm not going to give that stat, but I know what's nice is he's a junior, by the way, if I didn't mention that. There's always room for improvement, and he knows what he can be working on. Next year, we'll get that 3-point percentage and free throw percentage up, right? Yes, sir. 39 assists to 36 turnovers, so an excellent ratio there. If they're over a 1-to-1 ratio, I'm always pretty happy with that, which he did. 1.4 steals. Jordan went over 1,000 points. It was quite a highlight to our season. As a matter of fact, oh no, we didn't even know it until after the fact. A couple of games later, we noticed somewhere against North County in our district semifinal, he scored 1,000 points. So next year he's got an excellent chance, I think, of getting to the 1,500 mark. And then maybe the coach will pay more attention and know when that happens. Thing about Jordan, you guys that come out and watch us play, you know he's a fierce competitor and extremely emotional. Sometimes we even have to, maybe he gets a little too emotional, got to calm him down a little bit. But I'd rather have it that way than you know, not showing any at all. But what's nice is what you see there in the games. That's what it's like at practice. You know, in my 2 years of coaching at Farmington, you know, I can't remember one drill that he's ever taken off. He just always goes so hard, which then that, you know, the coaches know that just carries over all the other kids. When you're best players, your hardest workers, it's just very nice. All the kids kind of feed off of that, and they go just as hard. And what that results is, and hopefully more wins. And I think so obviously Jordan's been a big part of that because of that nature, because of his competitiveness and emotion. So. Once again, Jordan Ankrum.
Had the pleasure of interviewing Jordan's sister, Morgan, over the weekend, actually, you know, after she had helped lead her team to the first ever Fab Four appearance for John Brown University at the NAIA level. First time that they'd ever done that. They'd been 0-3 in national tournament appearances before that, and then they won 3 straight to get to the semifinal before losing by just 2 points, by the way, to a team they had beaten earlier in the season. So that's quite the athletic family they have here, and yes, she was the Player of the Year at the Dream Team ceremony in 2011. We move on to Festus High School. Unfortunately, Anthony Kinder could not be here today. He was here to present his son, Kamal Kinder. So I will say a few words about Kamal on his behalf. Festus had a 16-9 record this season. Kamal was a big part of that. They also won the conference championship this season in the large schools Jefferson County Conference. Kamal was just a sophomore, yet he averaged 16 points and several rebounds per game. He was getting up close to 10 rebounds per game this year. But the most impressive part about him, and I did get to see him play a couple times this year, but what I was most impressed with was that he was a student of the game and a very intelligent basketball player and just an intelligent kid. You look on his Dream Team ballot, his GPA was 3.9, and he was ranked in the top 10 in his class as a sophomore. And I expect the way Coach Kinder, you know, kind of coaches his kids and coaches his son, those numbers will probably go up in the next 2 years as well. But in interviewing him, he was just such an intellectual kid and, again, student of the game. And it was a pleasure, really, for me to get to know him and especially just all these kids as well. That's just what stood out to me, is just how well spoken he was. So from Festus High School, making his first Dream Team this year as a sophomore, Kamal Kinder. Next up, his young team struggled to get wins this year, but his Dream Team athlete was the 5th best scorer in the St. Louis area from Herculaneum High School, Coach Stephen Mauser.
Like to echo what's becoming redundant at this point, but to thank J-98 for all their coverage and everything they do for high school sports. As I started hearing all these coaches and all these accomplishments, I really realized Glenn probably had the hardest job in here today. You know, 20-win seasons, all-state appearances, district championships, and then somehow he had to come up and get up and introduce me and what we did this year as a team. So, little hard. And that leads into what I want to talk about with Adam Fisher, who you could come up, Adam, be introduced as our Dream Team award winner. My second year at Herculaneum, basketball has been down at Herky for quite a few years now. And really what we've told Adam all season before we go into his individual accomplishments, it's the things you can't measure and the legacy that he leaves behind and the younger kids that he's inspired that's going to ultimately get us back to where we want to be and how we want to be going. When I first got the job 2 summers ago, it's really hard to get stuff going in the summer, so I didn't really get to know the kids till we started practice in the fall. And when we would have late practice, without fail, Adam would ask me, can I stay around and shoot? I'd go in my office and I'd do paperwork, and eventually I'd get the paperwork done, and Adam would still be in there shooting, working on his own, putting extra time in. The funniest thing happened. We got to our second summer, and all of a sudden it wasn't just Adam, but we had a couple freshmen, a sophomore, staying behind after an open gym, shooting, putting extra time in. Season rolls around this year, and instead of 4 kids, we got 5 or 6 kids, and they're playing pickup ball in the middle of the season, putting in extra time, just being around the gym, loving basketball, putting time in. And, you know, all that is attributed to Adam. And I tell the story because there's not a lot of history to tell with Adam. Before this year, as his junior, he averaged 6.5 points a game and was probably as far off anybody's radar coming into this season. I think the Post-Dispatch gave us 2 sentences in their high school preview for our conference. He went from 6.5 points to 25 points a game, averaging this year. And you know, it was just a testament to the hard work. You hear, you know, he wasn't one of the kids that you see in middle school and you can't wait to coach because, you know, he has a legend built up before he ever gets to you. You're salivating about this, you know, kid you hear about. He's just somebody who just worked and worked. And, you know, I remember sitting at our Christmas tournament this year, and a group of parents were talking about either their sons or daughters playing on this 4th or 5th grade select team, and if you're not playing by 4th or 5th grade, you're already behind and you don't ever have a chance of being good. And I kind of thought, well, you know, Adam kind of puts a little twist on that, because what he did accomplish this year individually will bleed into what we hope to accomplish as a team in the upcoming years, because I know he has a lot of young kids that look up to him, have started emulating what he does, and, you know, statistically, it's just amazing. Again, I go from the 6.5 to 25 a game. Very quickly, he was named to the all-tournament team at the Borgia, 86th annual Borgia Turkey Shootout. He was named to the all-tournament team at the Rolla Herbert Classic in Crystal City. He was named first team all-conference JCCAA. He was named to the leader athlete of the week, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch athlete of the week. He was named to the Missouri Basketball Coaches Association all-district team and J-98 Dream Team. So I couldn't ask for a better kid to have coached over the last 2 years and to help me settling into my time at Herculaneum. And I know hopefully what's coming in the future with us will be a big result of the legacy and the example he's set for everybody else. Adam Fisher.
Up next, we have a presenter who coached his team to a 16-win campaign this year, including an 8-game winning streak towards the end. The team played better as the season went along. From Jefferson High School in Festus, Coach Nick Zinker.
All right, I want to start out by thanking regional radio, especially at Jefferson High School, being a fairly new school. The coverage that you guys give us, not just in basketball, but in baseball and football and volleyball and all our sports, we really appreciate it, so thank you very much. I am here to introduce Ryan Johnston, so come on up, Ryan. Ryan is the son of Kim and Jamie Bell and Clinton Joy Johnston. I want to start out here just kind of by going over Ryan's resume, and I got a couple stories about Ryan I want to tell. Ryan really has some phenomenal numbers this year. He averaged 20 points a game, 10 rebounds a game. He shot 63% from the field, averaged 2.1 steals, 1.5 blocks, and 3.4 assists. Those led our basketball team in all those categories, which is really impressive. He led our program as a young program to 16 wins, which is a program record. 4-1 in the conference, played for our first ever conference championship. We took 3rd place in the Crystal City tournament, which was our highest finish up to that point, and then we were the Winter Warrior Classic champions and all behind Ryan, so very impressive. He is a 2-time All-District player, 2-time All-Conference first teamer. This is his 2nd time being elected to the Dream Team. He made the All-Leader team in our area and was an All-Leader Player of the Week as well. So those are some of Ryan's accomplishments. But I want to talk about a couple of things that Ryan does off the basketball floor, and I'm really proud of. He carries a 3.5 GPA. He's a member of the National Honor Society. He's put in over 100 hours of A+ tutoring. And just going to kind of tell you the type of kid that Ryan is. You talk about a humble kid, and a lot of coaches have talked about that. That is Ryan Johnston. We were playing in a game in Crystal City towards the end of the season, and we were down by 2 points with 20 seconds to go, and we had to take a timeout. And when we designed the play, you would think that you would probably design it for the guy who scores 20 points a game and gets 10 rebounds a game. But we knew everybody would be expecting that, and we decided to use Ryan as a decoy, set some screens, and shoot a three to try and win the game. And if you've coached the game as long as I have, which is going on 14 years now, kids don't oftentimes, with his numbers, like the idea that you're going to go away from them. But he had no problem with that. He just looked me in the eye and said, I think that's the right play, coach. He looked at the kid who was going to shoot the three and hit him in the chest and said, knock it down, Mike, we're going to win the game. And we won the game. And I truly believe that as Ryan as a leader would hit Mike in the chest and said, we're going to win the game, it wouldn't have happened. And there's not a lot of kids who have the numbers that he has that would be that unselfish and that humble and that key point of a game to say, Coach, that's what we're going to do. And I'm really proud of him for that. I'm also really proud of Ryan as a role model in our school. He has just done a wonderful job of Jefferson. Kids all over the school look up to him. I have a 4-year-old son at home who thinks that it's LeBron James and Ryan Johnston. Every day when I go home, my 4-year-old is out back shooting baskets, and he has got Ryan shot down to a T, the way Ryan runs, the way Ryan backpedals. So you talk about a role model, and I guess the highest compliment that I could give anyone that I want to give Ryan is 10 years from now, when my 4-year-old gets older, if people compare him to Ryan Johnston, not just as a basketball player, but as a parent or as an athlete and as a person, that would make me very proud. So ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Johnston.
In his second year at the helm of this program, our next presenter more than doubled the win total from the year before. They were consolation champs in the Central Christmas Tournament this year. From Perryville High School, Justin Dreyer.
I'd like to start off by thanking Glenn and J-98 for all the coverage that they give Perryville High School and all the other local high schools around. I'm here today to talk about Colin Shermer. Colin is the son of Kenny and Tina Shermer. I'm very proud to stand up here and honor Colin as a member of the 2014 Dream Team. Just sitting here listening to the other coaches, you kind of hear, you know, they're a sophomore or a junior and they're passing the 1,000-point club. That wasn't Colin. Colin had to work really hard, and through Colin's hard work, he got the most of his ability. He's overcome a lot of obstacles. Some of the obstacles that Colin has went through in the past 4 years at Perryville High School is injuries. As a freshman, towards the end of football season, he tore his meniscus in his left knee, I believe. It was his left knee. And he had to have surgery. And because of that, he had to sit out, and he actually didn't get to play basketball till around a little bit after Christmas break. Then as a sophomore, he tore his meniscus in his other knee in early September doing a workout for basketball. So again, he had to go through surgery, and he missed the first month of basketball that year. So going through his freshman and sophomore years, he almost missed a complete year of high school basketball. So there he was as a sophomore. He had a surgery on each knee. He missed a lot of time on the court, and I know it was very hard on Colin. Colin had a dream to play college basketball, and so after his sophomore year, he decided to do something about it. He was tired of dealing with injuries. So Colin worked really hard. He worked his butt off, not only in the gym where he was working on his game. He also lifted weights every day, and he put himself on a diet. I don't know how many 16-year-old boys in high school put themselves on a diet and stick to it, but Colin did, and it really showed coming into his junior year. He lost 70 pounds between in that time, and you can see him now. Now he stands before us. He's 6'8", 235 pounds. As a sophomore, he was 6'6" and 275 pounds. He lost 70 pounds, and he started putting on a bunch of muscle mass. So Colin, for Colin to be up here, for me, it is just a tribute to all of his hard work and the dedication that he's shown. And I'm proud to be his coach and be standing up here recognizing him. It's been a pleasure. I've coached Colin for 4 years now. When he was a freshman and a sophomore, I was a JV coach, and so he was up on my JV team as a freshman. And then when coming into his junior year, that's when I took the head job. So I've rode what I tell my other coaches. We're going to ride the Shermer train this year, and that's kind of what we did. He averaged for his 2 years of playing varsity, his junior and senior year, he averaged 17.5 points per game, 10.5 rebounds per game, and 3 blocks per game. And that's a 2-year average, over 54 games, I believe it was. So, that to me is amazing numbers, just because the last 2 years when we played a game, the other teams knew that our strength was our inside game. And, he faced double teams and triple teams a lot of the times, and he was still able to get those numbers. Some of Colin's other accomplishments, last season, he was named to the all-tournament team at Woodland. He was first team, all-conference, honorable mention, all-region. This season, he was all-tournament team at Woodland. He was all-tournament team at Chester Invitational. He was named to the all-district team, first team, all-conference, and, of course, the Dream Team. He was a sole captain on our team. Going into this year, we talked about how I wanted captains to mean something, hard work, dedication, and just everything that it embodied was, Colin just embodied everything that it meant. So he was our sole captain on our team this year, and he also broke the single game scoring record at Perryville High School this December, when he scored 41 points against St. Genevieve. So he is now the single game scoring record holder at Perryville High School. Colin, I just want to end up by saying, Colin, it's an honor and pleasure to get to know you and coach you over the past 4 years. Through your hard work, positive attitude, and dedication, you have set a good example for all the younger kids in our program, and I want to thank you for that. And I'm also proud of how much you've grown, not just because you're 6'8", and we don't have another 6'8" kid, but the person that he's become. He really, I heard someone say a while ago they would like their son or daughter to grow up to be like one of these athletes up here, and if I'm lucky enough to get a son, I would want them to grow up to be like Colin. And he fulfilled his dream of playing college basketball. He's going to go next season and play at Fontbonne University. And, I'm glad to say that Fontbonne University is getting a much better person than a basketball player. So, Colin Shermer.
If you ever want to feel short, just host a Dream Team ceremony for basketball. That'll get the job done. Our next presenter couldn't be here today, but I want to tell you a little bit about the coach before we get into the player, because I think he's done a remarkable job. In his second year, he turned the team around from 6 wins the year before to 16 wins this year, including a conference tournament championship. And they only lost 2 games by double digits this year from Potosi, Dylan Higdon, the head coach of the Trojans. I really think he did a great job leading his team this year. Unfortunately, couldn't make it today, so I will say a few words about his athlete, who is another phenomenal player, Dylan Coleman. He's a junior. 25 points per game, 12.5 rebounds per game, 2.5 blocks, 1.8 steals. He was also a Dream Team member his sophomore season, and he's an all-conference baseball player as well. And what's crazy about Dylan Coleman, I understand, and I've actually seen it firsthand, that basketball is not his first sport. And you'd never believe that when you watch him play basketball. He's actually a really good baseball pitcher, and he hopes to play baseball at the next level. If he can do both, he will do that. But what I noticed about Dylan Coleman, and I got to see him play quite a bit this year, I have 2 memories that stand out. One was in the Central Christmas Tournament. They were actually playing South Iron, and that game went into overtime. Potosi was leading much of the game, and it was Dylan's teammate, Aaron Vinson, who was having a great game and keeping them in the game, and Dylan wasn't having his best performance yet. But in the overtime session, Aaron Vinson fouled out, so it was put on Dylan Coleman to try to lead the team back. And I remember there was under a minute left, and they were down by 5. It looked like South Iron had it wrapped up. And I remember saying in the broadcast, well, you don't need a 3 here, but if you can get the ball to Dylan Coleman, that would be your best bet. They pass it to Dylan Coleman. He shoots a 3 and makes it. So they're back to within 2. Why didn't I think of that, right? Next possession, they get the steal off of the inbound and then tie the game up. Looks like it's going to go to double overtime. South Iron steals it at the end from another Dream Team player you'll hear from later on. But that moment, and I knew Dylan was a good player, but that moment he really stepped up in crunch time, and that is what these Dream Team athletes seem to have in common. When it comes to the clutch, they're more often than not, they're delivering. The other time, he was actually able to lead his team to victory. It was in the championship game of the NAAA Conference Tournament, and that was at Mineral Area College. And he averages 12.5 rebounds per game. He must have had 20 in this game against the Central Rebels. And at the end of the game, when they were holding on to a lead, every single rebound was going his way. I mean, you would think he was, 7 foot tall rather than how tall he is, 6'5". I mean, this guy can crash the boards like no other. Those are two memories I have from him, and I'm glad I get to see him play for another year. From Potosi High School, Dylan Coleman. Okay, and with that, our next presenter, in his first year as the head coach, led his team to its 4th straight conference title this year. From St. Pius and Festus, Brandon Mays.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to thank Glenn and Tom, the radio station. I'd like to congratulate all the athletes on their accomplishments today. I'm here to introduce Isaiah Hennessy. Isaiah is the son of Sean Evans and Evelyn Hennessy. He's a junior. Very excited about this young man. He averaged 19 points a game, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals a game. Many of the highlights this year this young man has had is all-leader boys team, athlete of the week, small schools conference player of the year, all district. Isaiah, one of the achievements, one of the big highlights that I've really just, I still get goosebumps over this game, was the St. Mary's game, where he scored 46 points. He was 12 for 14 from the three-point line. Unbelievable shooting expedition that he put on that night. Like I said, Isaiah is a strong-willed, very determined young man, a very humble young man. He's faced every challenge that I've put forth on him this year. Very excited to have him again next year. Isaiah Hennessy.
Props to you, Isaiah. I couldn't go 12 of 14 from the low block. That's impressive. That is awesome. Our next presenter annually has his team competing as a major contender in Class 1 with over 20 wins again this year. Won Coach of the Year awards in 2006 and 2008. If you look way back in your program, he won Player of the Year in 1994. He may or may not admit that his son Drennan is a better free throw shooter than he is. Dusty Dinkins from South Iron.
I too would like to recognize J-98 as well as the other coaches for their wonderful coverage. I'd like to recognize also the parents and the other people behind the scenes. Those don't get talked about very much, and they're very important, especially at a small school like we have. We need all the people we can get to help our program, help our kids, help our school and our community, and I'd like to thank them as well. I'd like to also thank my wife and family for their patience. I'm a pretty serious guy, down-to-business guy, and don't joke around a whole lot, and they take a lot of stuff from me, especially after hard losses or tough outings, and they're very important to me, and I just thank God that I have them in my life. Lastly, as far as thanking people, I would like to thank God because I'm a very blessed individual, and definitely not deserving of that, and really, really appreciate every day waking up and having those blessings in my life. One of those blessings is being able to have the pleasure of coaching Mr. Marcus Hampton. Need to show him off a little bit. He's been a very important piece to our team for 4 years. He's the son of Herbert and Anjanette Hampton of Annapolis. His numbers are good. They're not eye-popping like some of these other players. The reason behind that is he's had a really good team. He's had 3 other players score double figures on his squad this year. His numbers are 15.1 points per game, close to 3 rebounds, almost 4 assists, 4 steals a game, great percentages all over the court. He's a 3-time all-conference team member, 3-time all-district team member, 2-time all-region team member, and 2-time all-state team member. Great player, great teammate. He has a heart of a champion, and he's got a really high motor. If you've seen him play, you want to come back and see him play again. He's just a guy that makes dazzling plays all over the court on the offense and defensive end. He's led our team to 3 fifth-place finishes in the Christmas tournament, 1 runner-up finish this year to outstanding Farmington team, 3 conference tournament championships, 3 regular season BRL championships, 3 Arcadia Valley tournament championships. He's been a 4-year starter on our squad, and overall has won 91 ball games in his high school career, which is amazing. I wish I'd have been that fortunate. Had great wins this year, like we said, but more importantly, he's a very unselfish player. He's a competitor, and he wants to win, and he's willing to give everything he's got to get that accomplished for his team, making plays on both ends of the court, like I said earlier. Just a pleasure to coach. Now, he kind of threw me under the bus on his interview on the radio, said sometimes we don't see things eye to eye, and that's correct, because I'm pretty tough, and he doesn't like that sometimes, but he knows that is what's best for him. He's nodding, that's impressive. Most of the time it's the ref's fault. We'll miss him next year, obviously with his play. I'll miss that great smile of his, because as I said, I'm a serious guy, and he's helped me in the last 4 years to loosen up a little bit. Have you not? Okay. All right. Appreciate you, Marcus. Appreciate everybody here for the support they have of these great athletes. And congratulations, Marcus. I'm proud of you, and you'll always be near and dear to me and the Panther basketball history. Thank you, Marcus.
That's a funny sound. All right, the reference for Coach Dinkins there, when I introduced him, his son actually, as a 9-year-old, I think he's 10, maybe 11 now, last year made it to a national competition for free throw shooting where he would hit 24 out of 25 free throws, something like that, and actually finished in the top 5 nationally. So I do believe that Coach Dinkins' son is a better free throw shooter than he is. Next up is a coach who has racked up 51 wins in 3 seasons as the head coach at his program. They were district runners-up this year, and he's introducing his son for the 2nd time from West County High School, Coach Chris LeBrier.
I want to make sure I say thank you to KTJJ and KREI, and I really do mean it, because they were the only local radio station that showed up to do our district tournament down at Piedmont this year, so that really means a lot to us. I'm going to introduce my son, Clayton LeBrier. When I saw Coach Bradley up here, the glare was pretty bad, so I apologize for my head. It was bad. I hope all these kids realize what an honor this is. I was lucky enough to make it when I was in high school, and as they get older, they'll realize this does really mean something. It's a big deal, and you'll have to be 40 years old before you realize that, but it really is. Clayton, he will go over 1,000 points next year. This year, he was once again made over 100 3-pointers. He averaged 16 points a game, 4 assists, and he was able to get 10 total rebounds this year, so that was a big deal for him. We kept the ball after that game, so that was a pretty big deal. I don't know if you guys have seen us play very much, but Clayton has to deal a lot with me. I'm hard on him. I'm hard on him at practice. But we've learned to deal with it in our own little way, and it's helped us grow, and it's helped our team, the way we deal with it and things like that. I don't know if you guys have seen the NCAA tournament, but Greg McDermott coaching his son, Doug, there was an interview he did after the last game. He talked about how there were some tough times, but he would not trade those times for anything else in the world. Well, you know, we've had our tough times. This year he hit a 3 against AV in the semis of the district tournament that actually would have been at the buzzer, but AV called a Chris Webber timeout when they didn't have one, but that's another story. But, you know, the tough times have brought us closer together, and it's helped our team come closer together. As a coach, I would say, Clayton, you've done well. I'm proud of you for representing our school and things like that. But as a dad, I'm really proud of you, and you know, I wouldn't trade any of this stuff for the world. Clayton LeBrier.
With that, it's now time to announce Player and Coach of the Year for boys basketball. And as always, we'll start with Player of the Year. Our Player of the Year is a 6'5" junior who wears number 2 on his back. He averaged a double-double with 25 points and 12.5 rebounds per game, making his second Dream Team appearance. Unfortunately not here today. Dylan Coleman from Potosi High School. Very, very close vote on boys basketball Player of the Year this year. Girls basketball and wrestler for that matter. For Coach of the Year, we actually had a tie this time around, so we will honor both of them, and both will be asked to come up and say a few words in acceptance of the award. We'll go one at a time here. Our first brought his team back-to-back district titles the last 2 years with 45 wins. In that span, 6 of his just 7 losses have come to Charleston and South Iron, 2 Southeast Missouri powerhouses. He's the reigning Coach of the Year, Lewis Bell from Clearwater. Think about that, 6 of 7 losses of coming to South Iron, who never loses, and Charleston, who's typically making a run toward the state championship or getting pretty close. That's pretty impressive numbers, and his Dream Team athletes have been a big part of that.
Well, thank you. It's quite an honor to be named as KTJJ Coach of the Year. It's something I really appreciate. I feel it's definitely a team honor, and the program, the team, the players that I put on the floor the last couple of years, they are definitely deserving of this. It's been a great year. I've talked to some coaches here lately, and I don't believe there's anybody that's coached the last few years that's had as much fun as I have with the group of guys that I've had to coach, and the effort that they gave me, and it's so again, it's an outstanding award. I'm very appreciative, and of those losses that we talked about with Marcus up here, he was responsible for some of those. So Coach Dinkins had to hustle to get over here today, and if he didn't make it, I was going to get to talk for him, and I'm not sure what I would have said about you, Marcus, but again, I appreciate it. Thank you. One thing I would like to, before I go, I better make some thank yous. Coach Garrison, our girls' coach, has helped quite a bit the last few years. I want to make sure and thank him. Coach Jones was assistant coach for me this year. Most importantly, my wife, if anybody got to see me at the Arcadia Valley tournament this year, I kind of had a glazed look in my eyes and taking some medication for the shoulder surgery that I had, and my wife helped me quite a bit. And she was our coach for 2 or 3 weeks this year, so I want to make sure I thank all those. Thank you.
Marcus, you're lucky Coach Dinkins showed up, because I'm not sure the words Coach Bell would have had to say would have been too favorable of you. You've beaten him too many times. Our next Coach of the Year, our co-coach of the year this year, in 9 total years with his team, he has not ever had a losing season. He also won the Central Christmas Tournament with an 18-point comeback win over South Iron, making the Final Four the first time in program history as well. That helped his cause. From Farmington, Justin Callahan. The most impressive of all of them, probably the South Iron win. Down by 18 points midway through the 3rd quarter. Coach Dinkins, I know this hurts, but team ended up going on an 18-0 run to come back and tie it, and then back and forth in the 4th quarter to win it. It was one of the more impressive things I've seen all season long, and from there went on to do even bigger and better things.
Thank you very much, Glenn. First and foremost, I'd like to thank God. Mean that sincerely. I think He had a plan a long time ago. Just it's strange how it's all worked out. And for Him to give me the opportunity to come back and coach again, and just focus on coaching, I feel a little guilty. These coaches out here, you know, they work so hard. All of them do. Have to do their lesson plans, get ready to teach. Some of them principals. I had the advantage this year of not having to do all that, you know. Even Coach Arnold, Coach Mack, some of these other retirees like me, doing stuff on the side, keeping them busy. I wasn't quite so busy, so I got to put a little time and effort into it that most coaches don't get to enjoy. That's all because of him. Obviously, I'm here also because of the great, you know, Jordan Ankrum, a group of seniors, along with the other juniors that just have spent so much time in the gym through the years. I got to work with a lot of them through the years. Again, had a little bit of an advantage, you know, not just working 2, 3, 4 years with a lot of these kids, but about 10 with a lot of them. Just feel so blessed. Like Coach Bell said, you know, I just feel, I do feel honored because I know the coaches voted on this, and again, just knowing that your peers, you know, the work that they do and be recognized by them, I just feel honored. Back, you know, Coach Dinkins said something that really struck a nerve with me, or not struck a nerve, but just kind of hit home with me. Just, I'm very serious, and again, I think Jordan Ankrum, those other 13 kids that I had, you know, kind of like Coach LeBar talking also, you know, I get them pretty hard, but I was fortunate enough that these kids, again, I think there was a plan in place. This group of kids, every day we would come to practice when we were changing the locker room. Man, their attitudes are so great. The camaraderie that they had, they got along. During practice, maybe not so much all the time. We got a little heated because of competitiveness, especially, you know, with him out there working so hard, and they all had to follow suit. But then after practice, boom, that's over. We're best of friends again. It was such an enjoyable year. And then one more thank you. Well, two actually. Family. You know, that plan that God had for me. That's easy to say, but for my wife, you know, family understand. Oh, you know, that coaches don't make a whole lot of money, and just to be able to just say, hey, I'm going to coach this year, and just focus on that for the amount of pay. They had to buy into that too, and they did. Thank you very much. And then finally, Pat Burns. I just want to thank him for his support the last couple of years. You know, he's our AD. For those of you who don't know, he's leaving us. He's going to Parkway South. Parkway South is they're getting an exceptional AD, an exceptional person. You know, he had a lot of stuff going on in his life this year that was hard to deal with, you know, outside of school, and couldn't imagine having to do the job that he did and do the stuff that he did, and put, you know, that family stuff, and just the support he showed me the last couple of years, and he will sorely be missed at Farmington High School. So thank you, Pat, for all your help, and thank you, KTJJ.
Coach Callahan knows how to joke around a little bit. I want to tell you a little story about him. Central Christmas Tournament, they're getting ready to play South Iron, I think, for the championship game. And they didn't have Jordan Ankrum, or they didn't know if they were going to have Jordan Ankrum for that game. He ended up playing, but pregame, we weren't sure whether Jordan was going to be able to play. And he goes up to Coach Dinkins. I'm getting ready to interview both of them for the pregame interview. And he goes up to Coach Dinkins and with a straight face says, okay, I don't have Jordan, so I guess, you know, to make things fair, you'll be sitting out Marcus Hampton today, right? and Coach Dinkins kind of did a little double take, and then the smile came out from Coach Callahan, so he likes to joke around a little bit. With that, let's give our boys basketball dream team one more big round of applause. I don't know about you, but I think the coaches got this one right this year. What do you think? They do a good job? I'd like to say a special thanks again to St. Genevieve High School and Melissa Otto for allowing us to hold the Dream Team ceremony at this wonderful facility again. And we did that last year as well, and we may look at doing it more in the future. We'll see, but certainly a great facility to hold it here. Thanks to Tommy Self and the rest of the staff from KTJJ, KREI, and KJFF Radio. Thank you to the players and the parents and the coaches who have all made it out today. Let's end this with one more big round of applause for the Dream Team.